So hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this time it's going to be the March budget recap. You'll see if we passed or fell for this month. So I'm just not going to make a big long intro. We're just going to get into it. If you don't know who I am and this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, hi, my name is Sherelle. I make budgeting and cleaning and lifestyle basically videos here on YouTube. I would like you to subscribe to my channel, but the purpose of me doing these budgeted videos is to have a document for myself of my journey. And hopefully while me recording this and filming this and uploading this helps another single mom out there that's struggling to get herself into financial freedom. I am not a part of the Dave Ramsey gang or clan, as you like to call it. These are things that I have learned, decided to adopt and incorporate into my budget. So we're just go ahead and get right into it. So we're just gonna start in March. We'll just go on ahead into my monthly view. So as you can see, I've had quite the amount of expenses. And to be honest, a goal of mine into next month would be to do a little bit better tracking things. So actually, let me see if I have my table here. So this is the table that I have. Basically, it's my expenses. Sis doesn't want to go in there. Little expenses tracked or whatever, how I have been spending my money. And towards the end, I just didn't give a damn. So I do apologize about that. For the most part, I went completely under the unbudgeted. I went completely off because I did not I didn't anticipate some of these purchases, especially when you see the $51. I do have to pay for school lunch, but for some reason they haven't been sending me a bill, and then they just sent me a whole bill. So this is just like probably like for last year and a whole bunch of other stuff. So for the most part, I did start weekly checking because I started incorporating cash envelopes into my budget, but this was just like a little trial and error for me, only because I didn't want to film it when I didn't necessarily like know exactly what I was doing. So since I haven't been able to track really well here, and matter of fact, let me just, do I have it right here? Is this the bag? No, the bag is over there, so let me go get the bag. We'll just go ahead and show you what I use to actually like track my expenses and stuff. So this is a file effects. These are where I house my cash envelopes. I am gonna open it because I do have like some stuff in here, stuff that I bought, so don't worry about like the coupons and stuff. But these are basically my cash envelopes. I did get these envelopes from Mama's Got a Budget here on YouTube and her Etsy shop. So when it comes to my expenses, well, let's start with my salary. Obviously, we know this doesn't change, right? Because, you know, I am salary, so the amount I get paid doesn't change. I did not earn any extra money this month. So when it comes down to totals, and this is my real income, this is like not a mock budget of any sort. I actually only made $29.84 for this month. I almost don't want to say because I did get my tax return in between here, but I didn't list that as an income, which probably should have made sense because I didn't really know when I was going to get it, so that's why I didn't. And for the most part, a lot of the excessive spending came from that, didn't necessarily come from my paycheck. But we'll just go ahead and go into it. So the amount of tolls for me never changed, only because that's budgeted out for how it is. I spent $120 on gas, so there's no change there. I spent $60 on food, and I spent $50 on that. So the unbudgeted was never supposed to be there. So I do have a variance of $229, and this is actually after I added up all my expenses. So let's go ahead and add that up. And we're just going through this fast just so I can show you. I do promise that next month I will be this will be a better job of getting like getting over like my spending, because that was not good. So for the most part, my fixed expenses didn't change, and my variable was actually $759.69. Now, because I didn't do a good job of tracking my weekly spending, and I know this probably doesn't seem like it makes sense, but I did actually happen to save, if that makes sense. So you see how in the end, what actually, oh, I didn't do the right thing. Yes, I did. Because see, the problem is my income here, when it came down to my expenses, was more. So what my income probably would have covered, it didn't cover. So in all actuality, we'll just go ahead and go to my savings. So when I ordered my envelopes, when I did my categories, they wasn't exactly thing, and I'm just taking out the cash. So how I do my budget is when I film a video with you guys, I actually go in and I do my budget for the month. But I go into further detail and do my numbers by my paychecks. And that's how I budget further. So with my cash envelopes, I had extra money that was left over. Now, when I bought my cash envelopes, she made a boo-boo herself, and she in turn just gave me the extra envelope, which I do appreciate. And I labeled that bills. And the reason that I labeled that envelope bills, and you can go ahead and I'll just take it out. I labeled it bills for the most part is so that any extra money that I have, and this is how it looks, will be given basically into savings. So we'll just go ahead and count out the money that we have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 80. I am a cashier by heart, so when I count, I just count the number of bills I have, not the actual total of it, only because for me, that's how I count money. It makes it faster. I count money all day, so, you know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in turn, what I have saved to put extra towards debt for the end of this month, or just for any bills that my sister didn't get ready to account for, is $145. So this I will hold until I actually put it back in my bank account or pay like extra money towards debt or whatever it is that I'm gonna do. I'll do it with that. So right now just fix my thing. And if you guys would like to see, like, I know a lot of people do like what they call envelope stuffing. If that's something that you guys would like to see here on this channel, you could just let me know, and I won't have any problems doing that for you guys if you want to see like envelope stuffing and sinking funds. So speaking of sinking funds, we'll just go ahead and go into my sinking funds. I didn't have any transactions that needed to come out of my sinking funds, but I will say that my engine overheated the other day, and I was just like, you know, I didn't have any boo-boos this month, but it probably was too good to be true. So we're just gonna go in the back, and if you have the Erin Condon, they have a note section. I know in February I did it right in the same section as February, but because I was using a different kit, I just decided to do something different. So we're just gonna go ahead and put March budget recap. And I'm not gonna go ahead with the washi and all this other stuff. Because for me, I don't care about that. So we'll just go back to the golds that we had for this month, and it was hits. So I'll just fucking writing with that wing. So hits, and hopefully you don't see my nutty dreadlocks in this video. So hits. So we did start snowball payment on credit card. So my initial goal was 200, but when I thought about the actual extra payment, because my minimum payment was only based on the amount of actual minimum payments that I lost since I started the budget the snowball payment on it. It's not exactly $200. You know what? I'm not even gonna go into that. Technically, I started it, so I paid $200 on my Capital One, and that's what the CO stands for. Actually, one of the goals was to increase my credit limit, and this is just being completely transparent with you guys because I have started my debt snowball. When I ended February, going into March, I think my credit score was 520, and that's just because my credit utilization is horrible, and the payment history is not that bad, but because I started missing those payments on the Capital One and the Chase card, it really my payment history is probably like a C or something. But the latest I have only been is a month. It hasn't been past that. So my credit score was 520. It currently is 555. So I increased my credit score by 35 points. And initially, I only wanted to do it by 10, but as you can see, I increased it by 35 points. Let's see, another hit, because I have some hits. I saved $100 from the pay period. I actually saved $145, as you can see. And I don't know if this is a hit or not. But as I mentioned, because this video is going up after I'm going to already do my monthly budget for April, I did get a raise. And that's just with like hard work. I don't know if that classifies as me increasing my income only because it's not extra income. It would be from my job. I'm not gonna put that there only because when I wrote that, that was not the intention of me getting a raise, right? So let's see what other goals I had for March. Increase income. Well, we know I didn't do that. Let me just go ahead and look at something for my recap from February. Oh, I put my debt tracker in there, but my debt tracker is already so now I'm gonna put Mrs. So I didn't increase income by $200. And this is obviously because I didn't drive at all. I didn't do any extra working. I do have a lot of stuff going on this month, and actually last month as well. A lot of things came just like out of left field that I had to get done. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I just was too tired. Again, I did get a raise, but I'm not gonna count that because when I wrote that, I meant like extra income, an extra $200 besides my paycheck. Something else I just completely went over budget. And that's just with the extra spending. So I went over my budget by $229. And we're just not even gonna account for the extra spending that I did. But I don't want to say that's almost like on my fault because that was besides my budget for the month. That was actually from my tax return, and I did have extra money left over after I did everything that I was supposed to do with the amount that I allocated for. So I basically did what I had to do as far as that, except I still get a new refrigerator, and that's just because I got the deep freezer, so it kind of put the halt on that, and I didn't change my brakes, just because I haven't had time, so it's almost, yeah, whatever. So I completely went over budget by $229. That's just for things that I didn't expect to happen. But some of them was just like increased spending from out of my actual paycheck and my income coming in for the month. And also, it was something else. I think that was like my only two misses. So we'll just go into moving forward, what we want to try to do better, for the next month. So, moving forward, because I'm not going to actually go into like my debt tracker only because that video is up. You guys will be able to see like where I ended at for the month and what I plan on doing for April already. So I'm not gonna just go into that. So I have already implemented cash envelopes and the sinking funds. If you would like to see like how I do all of that stuff again, just comment. I comment back because I'm not above doing that. And just let me know what it is that you want to see here on this channel. And if I could do it, I'll do it. I need to keep better track of expenses. And actually, this pen is starting to skip. And this pen versus the one that doesn't have the cap, the black one for some reason always skips. Like the other ones, they write fine, but this one just skips all the time, and I don't know why. Keep better track of expenses, implement cash envelopes and sinking funds, which I am going to continue to do because it has worked for me, and I need to increase monthly income. And I want to improve my credit score. And I hope you can see that because my pen is skipping. Credit score for the month. And I'm left-handed, so I have to tilt because these rings are on this side. And I'm not writing like on the left-hand side of the paper where I would have open space. And just keep up with my things. Anything in April that I think that I need to watch out for is right here. So moving forward, this is what I want to continue to do, things that I have learned. Keep better track of spending, and I need to stop spending. Unnecessary money. So for the most part, I probably could have saved a lot more as far as my finance and stuff. I probably could have saved a lot more. I probably could have came out with a lot more money for this month, only because I semi-followed the plan that I had set out for myself. And that's not exactly good because it's not helping me in the end. It's kind of what got me into the situation in the first place. I will say that whatever I have in savings, that is what is in my saving that I said that I was going to save. So I did good on that. For the most part, I did increase my credit score for the most part. So out of the, let's see how many goals I had for, I had 1, 2, 3, I had 4. So out of the 4, one of them I didn't get done. So I won't say that was a complete fail, but the increased spending, that was a fail. So that's something that moving into April, I want to kind of like curb. So that's going to be it for my March budget recap. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and to hit the little bell for notifications of my next video. And hopefully you guys liked it, and this is something that you want to continue to see out here. And this is where I know it's a lot of people that's budgeting, but this is just what works for me. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah.